This week's video covers two major concepts, functions and traps. Functions allow us to break a program up into small subprograms, and traps allow us to respond to various signals that the script receives from the operating system. We'll integrate both of these ideas in our example script. Let's address functions first. Functions simply provide a name to a block of code. We create a new function by typing the name we would like to give it, followed by open and close parentheses and curly braces that group the commands we'd like to use. I'm going to write a short function that will display an alert message to the screen. If we run our script at this point, it won't appear to do anything. The function has been defined, but for the code contained in the function to execute, it also needs to be called. We can call the function by typing its name anywhere in our script after the definition. Let's do that here. Now when we run our script, we'll see that that alert message we wrote displays to the screen. Of course, an alert function isn't terribly useful if it displays the same message each time. We can pass parameters into a function the same way we pass them into a script, by making a placeholder with $1. Let's modify the alert function to have a placeholder where the message currently is. Now when we want to call the alert function, we can pass it a message to use. We simply write the message after the name of the function. Let's demonstrate that this works. Now when I execute it, the message that I wrote after the word alert displays to the screen. We can also pass the value of a variable for the parameter. Let's add another message in a variable and pass it to our function. There are two things to note here. First, we're now calling the function multiple times. This is one of the useful features of functions. They allow us to reuse our code easily. Second, I put the variable that's being passed in quotation marks. This will keep us from having problems with variables that contain spaces, so it's a good idea to do this whenever you pass a variable to a function. Let's try this out. Both of our messages display to the screen. The second thing we want to talk about is traps. Traps allow your program to respond to signals such as the interrupt signal, which is generated when a user presses Ctrl-C, or the stop signal generated when a user temporarily suspends a process. We usually declare any traps at the beginning of our script. To do this, we use the trap keyword, put any commands we want to execute in single quotes, and then indicate the name or number of the signal we want to trap. I'm going to create a trap that calls our alert function when someone presses the Ctrl-C button. You can find a list of trappable signals in your book or online. To give us time to call the trap, I'm going to add a prompt and a read statement to the script. When we run this, the code in the trap statement won't get called if everything terminates normally. However, so let's demonstrate that. If I just press enter to end, it continues on and prints the bye message. However, if I run it again and press Ctrl-C when the prompt comes up, the code in the trap gets executed instead of terminating the script. Notice that the script continues executing after the trap code is run. I went back to the prompt and we still got the bye message at the end of the script. If we are trapping the Control-C command, how can we terminate a runaway script? The kill command with the -9 parameter cannot be trapped, so it can always be used to immediately terminate a runaway process. I'll leave it to you to look up the syntax for that command.